I don't think Axe will have such a good time in this game. Like the last game, he had a really good time getting, I believe, a 10-minute Blink Dagger. And I guess he was in a 1v1 matchup, so it's not terribly surprising, but unlikely for him to have such success, at least that early. And NiP are going to go with a classic Drow Ranger draft, getting 3 ranged heroes. You have the Vengeful Spirit, the Viper, combined with the Drow Ranger. It'll be interesting to see, you know, yesterday we saw, was it yesterday? We saw a Drow lineup where they actually had a Panda combined with it.
Yeah,
so they
well,
had
I was about
4
to
ranged heroes, and then, you know, they had that melee initiator. It'll be interesting to see if NiP actually go for something like that, or if they're just going to go with the 5 ranged heroes.
Like I said, I'm a big fan of like Mag with that lineup and have Drow Ranger getting empowered, even though obviously you don't get the cleave.
I like Centaur a lot.
Yes, we had this exact same discussion yesterday, literally the exact same discussion. You like Centaur, I like Mag.
I mean, they're both similar. I just like Centaur better because it's a better offlaner in my opinion, so...
The Shadow Fiend, this looks like the exact same draft we saw earlier today.
Yeah.
From, I believe it was MYI, except the there was a Weaver last pick. I don't see that happening for 4ASC. I've been wrong, but...
Yeah, I don't think they're going to go with the Weaver, but... Shadow Fiend's really strong mid-hero, especially on that Radiant side. We've seen a lot of Chinese teams, especially... You know, there's a couple teams that, you know, if they're on Radiant, they're picking Shadow Fiend, and I don't blame them. The hero is extremely strong. Pretty safe on the Radiant. You know, if you try to gank him too much, he's just going to retreat into the jungle, where he has access to both the medium and the large camp, as well as being able to stack it up for himself even.
And honestly, that's how you increase your farm, you excel your farm, you get up to that 700 GPM slot by just making sure you get to the jungle, you take as many trips as possible, you get towers, you get gold, and you kill the enemy team. Visage just picked up for Ninjas and Pyjamas a bit more in the box than anything else, unfortunately. We've seen this combo enough to know how capable it is of destroying a game. Sir, are you dying? Are you okay? Are you going to be alright?
I should be alright.
Okay, good work.
So they're actually going to pick up the Visage. I think there was a stat the other day from Nahaz. Drow with Visage this patch is something like 10-2. So very good record.
Pretty solid.
And then Drow without Visage is 10-15.
Not so solid.
So I'm kind of curious by that stat because personally I feel Drow Visage together can be underwhelming at times, especially up against something like an Axe in particular, just because the spin damages the birds, and later in the game the birds are going to have a rough time up against this Axe, but we'll have to see what happens.
The Berserker's Call works, right, on the birds, because it just goes through everything. Yeah. Because it's Berserker's Call. What an amazing ability that is. Very good. Yeah. By the way, guys, again, this is our first... well, this is actually our second series with a ticket, but our first day with a ticket. Make sure you guys go ahead and check it out. $9.99 in the store. Comes with the compendium, the chest. I believe the chest. And also... Yeah, no, actually it just comes with the ticket of the compendium. So make sure you check that out. It is going to help out the prize pool, obviously. And again, $9.99 in the store. We've already raised the prize money by quite a bit, so good work for those of you that bought it as soon as it came out. Also, the ticket does not come with a chest, I don't believe. It is $2.50 in the store. I may be wrong about that. I just got a ticket, or rather, not a ticket, rather. I got a chest. And I actually got the new Abaddon set, which I thought was fantastic looking. New horse comes with it as well. Really nice stuff, and I highly recommend you guys check it out in the Dota store. But with that being said, Broodmother banned out, Puck banned out, NiP, their 5th ban, is going to be the melee hero. Guys, listen. You know what you want to do. You want to pick up that mag. Trust me. It's good.
They're going to be... I think they're... the Puck is banned, so... You know, pretty much the staple offlaner when you're running the Stro strat. You know, there's also the Batrider. That's another ranged offlaner. So it's either going to be the Batrider or then, you know, something like a tanky melee initiator, most likely. Or it could even be, you know, Moppax is saying Windrunner.
Oh, yeah. We saw that a lot yesterday. Or I don't know how many days ago. Probably yesterday.
I think it's better mid, though, with Drow. But, you know, it could be ran as an offlaner.
Well, you don't have to send Viper in the mid lane, to be fair. I mean, it probably wouldn't work out that well. I mean, you could do like aggro trialing with Drow solo safe, and then like Windrunner in the mid lane? Question mark. Yeah, but the problem with that is you have all ranged heroes, and it just any way you lane it isn't going to be the way you want it to be laned.
Also something to consider is we're going to have a Viper versus Shadow Fiend mid, a very classic skill-based matchup, but unfortunately for the Shadow Fiend, our Viper is going to have the Drow Aura, so most likely going to be Viper favored.
Viper will have the edge until a couple of souls in.
Gonna be the Batrider.
And it's the Batrider coming out, which is certainly not a bad choice. It fits the off-lane role and is also a ranged hero. But again, I talked with you and we talked about it a lot yesterday. I really would have liked to see a melee initiator. Batrider works well. He's pretty tanky and he is an initiator, so that can get in and out. Yeah, so
it's just not as good at counter initiation, unlike those other melee heroes.
Yeah. Blink Clap, Blink Stomp, Blink RP, those are very good counter-initiating tools. Blink Lasso is just, you get in and you have an idea of what you want to accomplish before the fight even starts,
So, NiP going all in with the Drow strat, picking up the 5 ranged heroes. It's very snowball-oriented. If they start falling behind against heroes like Axe, Shadow Fiend, even the Ancient Apparition, it could get quite tricky. Drow, not really a hero that functions well when you start getting behind, so it's very important for them to get ahead from the laning phase with the 5 ranged heroes and the Drow, and then stay ahead.
And well, I mean, again, Snowball, that seems to be the key for a lot of these lineups, and for 4ESC, they just want MATUMBAMAN to get some goddamn farm, which they had trouble with the other day. We'll see if they can key into MATUMBAMAN's farm, make sure he gets up to a decent item or two, and all of a sudden becomes a threat to be dealt with here. Shadow Fiend plus Terrorblade together against this lineup, definitely a good chance that they can out-carry the Drow Ranger as she peaks into the middle of the game. She's very solid in that mid to late stage of the game, but once it gets to the super late, Terrorblade and Shadow Fiend will be taking over for
NiP definitely going to have to probably for the 35-minute mark, I would say. Or at least have a substantial advantage.
Okay. That was ranked. So already... Sorry.
Excellent.
You don't have to listen to the story.
Has reconnected.
We might actually move on between these two teams to the upper bracket. And these teams are fighting for a spot to continue on here in the qualifiers. Loser will go home with nothing. Of course, they have to lose 2 games. So... well, we got a second here for NiP. We have 8mother playing your Viper. Looks like he'll be going mid lane. Hanskin playing your Visage. Seal Kid on your Vengeful Spirit. Era playing your Drow Ranger. And that'll leave Jonas and Fane playing your Batrider. He'll be heading to the off lane.
And for 4ESC, we're going to have MATUMBAMAN playing the safe lane Terrorblade. He is your captain. Naber, the stand-in Ancient Apparition. Not really too sure how you say that guy's name.
Naber.
Vaalix is going to be playing the support Skywrath Mage. Buugi is going to be taking up the Axe. Looks like he's going to start in the jungle. NiP is going to be the mid Shadow Fiend.
He's got a good block going his way. Good head on his shoulders. 8mother doing a really nice job as well. And again, you talked about this classic matchup when they're going toe-to-toe.
Yeah, but that's a 60 damage Viper.
Versus a 40
Shadow
damage
Fiend's actually going to go raise first so that he can
and he's also going to get ganked as well. Oh, Seal Kid. Oh, they see him. The right click coming in. The Magic Missile's going to fly. Will they dive this? This is bold as hell. The right click coming in, and they just do so much damn damage. It's ridiculous. That Shadow Fiend did not know what was coming for him there with the right click coming out from all those range heroes.
It looked like he just didn't see him, but
no, he saw him, I think, at the... I think he saw him, but I think it was too late at that point.
He walked forward.
Did he? Yeah.
Yeah, that was a...
misclick? Who knows?
Very unfortunate for him. Could be a misclick. You never know. Might have hit the minimap. That is a possibility since it was to the bottom left. But unfortunate nonetheless. Ends up going down. That is the first blood.
Gotta say, I like the decision from Buugi, by the way, to head to the jungle as the Axe. He knows that if he heads to this trial, he'll just die. That's a smart decision.
Yeah. That is an extremely difficult tri-lane to lane against. 3 ranged heroes with the Drow Aura. They have a stun and a slow. Very difficult. And NiP is really struggling. Only getting CS currently with the raise. Does have 5 last hits. Is ferrying out the bottle.
Where's that courier going?
Okay. He's got it.
That sketched me out for a second.
It scared me. I was like,
Is he going to feed that away? Please don't.
That'd be bad.
8mother has 10 last hits in this middle lane, and I mean, this is going to continue onward until NiP can get, like, at least, I'd say 10, maybe a little bit less than that, Necromastery stacks.
It might actually... Honestly, he's never going to have any semblance of control in this lane because the harassment that's going to come out from the Viper is going to be pretty extreme. Already sitting at 76 damage.
Look at the poison attack slow. Look at the damage getting pumped out. Yeah. And that's without the Nether Toxin at the lower health. It's ridiculous. So, again, that mid lane is just, it's rough. Viper probably one of the most annoying heroes to lane up against if you're playing against a Viper that knows what he's doing, which is not difficult.
Yep.
You have your Q button on auto attacker.
Especially with the Draw Aura. Yeah. Very difficult to lane against. And, you know, this is a matchup I would say that, you know, if there's no Draw Aura or ganks, slightly SF favored, but definitely a skill-based matchup. Viper has an easier time, I would say, killing the Shadow Fiend, but if you play really solid, it's a pretty even matchup in terms of farming, but it's like 8 Mother's just scouting the stacking that's happening by Buugi as well as the Shadow Fiend.
You know, Jonas is here, and he's actually got level 1, and that's it. And the problem is that Buugi can go into the jungle from level 1. Jonas Fan is not able to do so, or at least he doesn't want to. So
he's actually just going to sit here and steal. Oh, he might get a kill,
He's going to get a kill. Firefly's going to go stick an Apom. He just got level 2. There's the Berserker's Call. The race is going to go. Jonas Fan, he might give away first blood. Well, actually, it wasn't first blood. That was given away by Shadow Fiend. Regardless, they get the kill.
Certainly, there was going to be a kill, but unfortunately for the Bat Rider, was not the one he was looking for.
No, that's the old turnaround, the old switcheroo coming out for you. I mean, that's the problem when you go on the X that close to the middle lane. Yep. Nephi's just going to walk over and say, hey, thanks for giving me those raises. Or the Necromastery Sex. I really needed those.
Yeah, I mean, he really needed that kill. Look at his 9 last hits to the 22 and 11 of the Viper. So, 8 Mother doing a really great job in the mid lane currently.
No, and it'll
it's not going to get any easier.
Yeah, I mean, this is the problem. I mean, the issue for... I guess the trade-off is that your Shadow Fiend's not getting farmed, but your Axe is, whereas your Viper's getting farmed, but your Bat Rider is not. That's the trade-off between the two teams at this point. Obviously, it's not that cut and dry, but that's what it feels like anyway.
Yep, and looks like Jonas Fan is going to start doing some stacks that are in the jungle. Unfortunately, there is a Mud Golem in one of these medium camps, so not the most desirable stacks, but nonetheless, going to start clearing these out. Work towards his Blink Dagger. Try to get that by about 10 minutes, I would say.
Yeah, that's not a bad timing considering the changes to Bat Rider over the past couple of patches, and obviously just what the hero's capable of now. As long as he can try to hold steady with this Axe, which he's clearly not, because Axe already has Tranquils as well as level 5. It would be nice, but he could try to keep up as best as possible. For now, though, it really comes down to, well, MATUMBAMAN's sitting at 32 CS, and guess who's right on him? It's actually Era with him as well. MATUMBAMAN has a bit more denies. Not that that matters. Neither of them have a laning partner to go up against, so...
Yep, Axe definitely doing a good job getting as much as he can out of this jungle. Has his Tranquil Boots. Level 5, actually, already. It's pretty surprising. He did walk top again to get some experience. It's a good idea to walk back top just to show yourself. It forces the supports to either come and stop you from getting experience and move them away from just doing whatever they want.
Well, as it stands now, though, bottom lane, we have the MATUMBAMAN Metamorphosis and Conjure, which popped up. He'll try to cut the creep wave, and actually he's just going to keep the creep wave behind the tower so that it doesn't pull the his own personal creep wave back. And while this is all happening, though, top is being pushed equally fast and hard by Furious, or rather, excuse me, NiP. So, tier 1 tower, probably for a tier 1 tower. But someone will get one, Air gets the other. It's actually uncanny how close these two are in terms of farm right now.
Yep. They both getting the last hits on the towers, so they actually have exactly the same gold right now. Air is slightly higher.
We have
no, same. Alright, well, it's too close.
Somebody bought something. Meanwhile, Firefly going in. Jonas Fan actually getting caught out here. The reflection going through. That's a right click, and MATUMBAMAN's going to get this kill. And despite Terrorblade being squishy as all hell, he's actually just fine. The Firefly does nothing. He's going to get salved up. He actually purchases a bottle as well. So
that's one of those moments where you're like, why does he have reflection skilled? Not a spell that we typically see being leveled on the Terrorblade.
Did he hold that point and skill at level 6? I feel like he must have.
Maybe he did hold the point. I'm not entirely sure.
Because you don't. You're right. You don't ever see that ability ever.
Yeah. Not early, at least. You know,
no.
You see it at like level 22 or 23.
I'm going to get this value point and reflection 25 minutes into the game. It's got to be worth it. That ability was actually one of the most broken abilities when Terrorblade came out in Dota 2, and quickly became one of his worst abilities, if not his worst ability.
Interesting stat about hard carries. Naga with actually the highest win rate of all the 3 hard carries.
That doesn't surprise me. Really? Does that surprise you?
No.
I didn't think so.
That
shouldn't shock anybody, really, actually.
Naga's had a really good win rate, actually, in all patches since she's been viable, I think.
I think she might get nerfed a little bit in the next patch, but only just a little bit. Maybe Riptide damage or something. I think they need to change Riptide at least a little bit. So she's not as strong in the early game, even though she's not super strong in the early game. But you know what I'm saying. You understand.
Maybe you could do something like... well, we probably shouldn't get too far into, like, possible changes, but changing Riptide so that it scales based on how many illusions you hit with it or something. That could be something they could do.
Okay, I see what you're saying. Anyways.
So, like, if just the hero hits it, it's not as much?
Right, I gotcha. That's not bad. I like that idea, but, yeah. We'll worry about it later. Ice Frog, tell us what you think. NiP currently sitting at 1 kill. They also have Seal Kid farming mid because guess what? He's level 2. So yeah, he needs some experience desperately. Ancient Apparition's not too far behind, or too far ahead, excuse me. He's level 3. Metamorphosis is going to go in this tier 2 tower. I mean, we might see an off-lane clear of towers here, but everyone rotating. The Smoke of Deceit game very early on from NiP.
Rotations coming to the bot lane. They have to get out of here really fast.
The TP came in maybe a bit too early coming out. Actually, they're heading over to Roche. They tricked us. They tricked us completely.
Ima, they're going to be able to solo defend that tower. They can't kill him right now. He's very tanky, sitting at 1,000 HP, has the buckler up, so 13 armor as well.
That Roche died almost instantaneously. The medallion coming out from Hanskin, and that actually provides Silkhead about 2 levels or so, and that's huge. And on top of that, Era gets an Aegis. He treads 2 Wraith Bands and an Aquila, so he's hitting like a truck with level 8 up and ready to go. And what about this axe? We haven't really checked on him. He's actually like 100 gold away from his Blink Dagger. And we talked about the 10-minute blink and how important that's going to be for 4ESC, and well, there it is.
Yep. So probably going to heal up, get that Blink Dagger, and that's going to be really important for them to be able to stop this pushing of towers that's on the way from NiP right now. They do have the Aegis, so he can't go all out onto the Drow Ranger.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, for those of you playing at home, remember we talked about 30 minutes is the go time really for 4ESC, or at least to get past that point. And, well, just something to keep in mind. We had a Dota Pit bingo game like we had for NEL. Meanwhile, rotating into the jungle, Terrorblade Illusion, dead. Just murdered. Yasha now coming out for Era. They have Ancient Seal, so I would not be surprised to see a Manta style this game for the Drow Ranger, especially after the change to make it a better item with the Drow. Brow, however you want to pronounce it.
Looks like they are going to just start 5-manning all these towers. They're going to go bottom now, get that tower, and they're trying, 4ESC doing the right thing, trying to split push both the mid and top lane. Probably going to be able to get the trade for middle. Top is most likely going to be able to be defended by NiP.
Jonathan fan is going to lasso up Netfeed. Berserker's Call, Blink is available. They can jump in. The lasso does nothing there. Actually can't get the kill at all. They do defend the tower. Top lane is going to be Metamorphosis on, and all the while bottom lane, Hanskin and Era are going to be able to push this. The one thing I have a problem with is them 5-manning is you're not going to get Seal Kid level 6 quickly enough, although he is close. You want to get your supports and levels here. And well, actually, Jonathan fan is going to have his Blink Dagger right about only a minute later. Buugi jumps in and destroys the... nice recall of the birds for Hanskins.
Yeah, but I mean, that's going to be a real problem.
Vaalix getting right clicked. Look at that damage. Buugi in trouble. He gets blown up by Hanskin and Air. The Soul Assumption coming in. Gets the kill.
Well, that was an incredible amount of burst damage coming out from the Drow.
He just pumped it into him, man.
And are they just going to walk up the hill?
Yeah, might as well. They have an Aegis, and there's no reason to let this Terrorblade get any more farm.
They have Mech. The Visage Birds are still alive.
No axe for 13
right now. So it is a bit dangerous, but I think they can just get this tier 3. And what are 4ESC going to do? There's no AA ult. That's honestly the biggest problem right now.
Yeah, Air's going to walk up maybe to the high ground here. No, they're going to let the birds do all of the damage for the most part. They're going to kind of chip away at this tier 3 tower. They don't really need to get it low right now.
Yeah, they desperately need the level 6 onto this AA. They can't defend this without the 6.
He needs to get out and get some experience somewhere. He's going to find some in the middle lane.
I'm quite surprised they're not forcing this. They should know that AA is not level 6, and that's a huge source of damage that they're missing.
No, I like this. They're making sure that they take this slowly, but actually they back off. I don't know if this is the right decision. However, they don't need to really rush this. The tier 3 tower is already very low. And they're actually going to converge on mid, and NiP is the target. You have a lasso target here. There's no ward coverage coming up from the raiding team, but the game sense is enough for them to back up.
Yep. But while all this is happening, you do have to keep in mind that MATUMBAMAN is just free farming in the top side of the map, so NiP need to make sure that they're constantly applying pressure on the opposite side of the map. Punish him for farming up the top lane. Looks like they are going to push the mid-tier 2 tower instead of applying more pressure to the bottom lane, which is sitting at about 350 HP.
SNY is actually completed for Era. It's going to fly out soon.
Look at how fast they kill these towers.
By the time MATUMBAMAN's almost taking that tier 2 top, they've taken 2 tier 2s. Blink is going to go. There's Buugi jumping in. Yoda fan getting in trouble now. He's going to fall, but Buugi is dead as well. NiP's getting right-clicked down. The Viper strike slowing up to a damn halt. The Viper slowed, the Frost arrows, everything you could imagine going in for NiP, and they're going to try to push this high ground. And, well, MATUMBAMAN will do the same up into the top lane. He pops up the Metamorphosis, and now I think you have to make a decision on whether or not you want to defend that lane. Batrider will be up in a couple of seconds. Glyph top lane, it is available. And, well, he is doing some damage to the tier 3 tower. However, the tier 3 bottom's already gone at 13 minutes into the game. This is how you play a Drow Visage combo, ladies and gentlemen. Ice Blast is going to fly. It's going to hit onto Hanskin and to 8 Mother. Buugi jumping in. Counter Helix is going to go. But they Magic Missile, and Buugi cannot get at least any Culling Blades off. And that means, guess what? He's died about 3 times in a row with little to no consequence for NiP.
And it only takes sending the Batrider back to defend, so not even losing a lot of damage onto that tower. They get the tier 3 themselves. They force the buyback out from the Axe.
Did Era die, or did his Aegis just get reclaimed?
His Aegis got reclaimed.
Wow, that's just... Yeah, that's true.
He has the SNY, so up to 1400 life. Going to be really hard to take him down. I don't even think they can take him down right now with the Axe. Plus, you know, they would probably have to use everything. They'd probably have to use the Axe, Blink Call, the Skywrath ult, as well as the AA ult.
Is getting blown up. Ice Blast, it's too close. It's not going to hit anybody, but you're desperate. You have to throw something out at this point. MATUMBAMAN's Illusions coming in. The Metamorphosis ones are just trying to run at some of these heroes, but in the end, I mean, they lose nothing. NiP just run, and they immediately accrue a 5,000 net worth lead just by hitting Raxes. This isn't even Rat. This is full-fledged. We're going to run at you with the lineup we have.
Yep.
Disgusting, actually, but works very, very effectively, and you gotta hand it to them. They get a melee Rax at about 14 minutes into the game, and I don't know, man. I mean, we talked about having a lead early, and they took it to heart.
Yep. And this is exactly what you need to do when you have these 5-man, especially with the Viper and the Drow together. They don't have too much late game potential, so it's very important to get off to this early start and press your advantage. They're nearly going to have a Force Staff as well on the Batrider, which is extremely important, and I think they will wait for the next Roshan before trying another push.
That seems to be a smart decision. There's no rush at all. They could even wait for another item, say for 8 Mother to get his Aghanim Scepter, and they could just spam out his Viper Strike, which would probably decimate half of those heroes. The Shadowfiend did not get off to a good enough start for him to snowball. He only has his mech now, which is pretty much on par with the Viper and even a little bit behind. So their damage is really not coming from anywhere except maybe MATUMBAMAN with Metamorphosis, and he does have 2 points in Sunder at least, but still, he doesn't have his Manta yet.
Yeah, and usually he is getting closer and closer to that Manta style. He isn't really on par with the farm that you want to see from your Terrorblade.
Oh, Buugi catches out the birds, but that's all he's going to find, and he does get both of them, but Boogie's going to fall in return. I'm sure Hanskin's okay with that trade. Air's looking for Nymphy. He's going to hightail it out of there, and he could get a Frost Air, but he has no way to catch up to Nymphy.
Yeah, I mean, it's very unfortunate that his birds die, but get a free kill on X. Sure, he's fine with that.
Yeah, it's on cooldown for only 40 seconds more anyways, so I'm sure he can deal with it.
But, I mean, you can see right there how good Axe can be against Visage.
It's just that kind of game currently for 4ESC. Again, we talked about it. If the game goes long enough, MATUMBAMAN will take over. But
yeah, I mean, he needs Manta Scotty +1 item, I would say, to carry this game. And usually the timing for Manta Scotty, you want to have that before 25 minutes. That's typically the standard timing, you know, between 22 25 minutes. That's a really good timing, and
yeah, I think he'll have it before 25 for sure.
He's gonna need that for them to have a chance to win this game.
He's not far off of, well, he has his Manta already. Scotty's not too far away, I don't think, assuming he can farm with the same speed he's farmed the rest of his items. Roshan is up in a full duration. Actually, it's pretty close to full duration. Not quite there, but it's maybe like 10 to 20 seconds below full duration Roshan. Seal Kid and MATUMBAMAN's illusions going toe-to-toe. Manta Styles pop. Seal Kid realizes that's the real MATUMBAMAN, but guess who's coming in? Even if it is the real McCoy, there's NiP on the backside. I don't know if they want to really fight that.
He's actually taking so much damage from these illusions.
Lasso onto Buugi. Where's the fall? And guess who's here? It's Era. He's going to say hi, and the right click is more than enough. And Jonas and Fane, he is actually going to get the kill, and they're going to push him bottom.
Bots instead of force stuff. It's pretty interesting.
I've seen this decision a bit more recently.
Yeah, I mean, it helps you split push more. Bone7 actually is a fan of sometimes even getting bots before the Blink Dagger, so that he can split push all the lanes. It makes you farm extremely fast on the Batrider. Gives you additional movement speed as well.
You know what we rarely see in Batrider anymore? At least in, you know, one of the first items. Mask of Madness. What? That was a build, right? Was it not?
Sort of. I mean, more of a troll build, I guess. Usually, sometimes we'll see Mask of Madness going into the later stages. It was more of like a troll build. I don't think...
God, is everything a troll build nowadays? Jeez.
No.
Like, Scepter on Shadow Fiend and... Oh...
So many troll builds, like Refresher Batrider without BKB.
Listen, Refresher Batrider's legit, alright? I've seen it.
No, I mean, it is legit. I actually think it's very good, especially when you have a BKB, but...
Yeah. Without it. Maybe it is a waste of a Refresher, I suppose.
I mean, you get 2 ults, but you have no BKB.
That's kind of an issue. Buugi now is... As fast as Buugi got this Blink Dagger, this is one of maybe the few Axe games I've seen recently where he is just completely ineffective.
0-5-2. Had a 10-minute blink, has farmed nothing since. Had to use a buyback once.
Mama's still picked up in 5% of Batrider games of 6.83, 7 times. Yeah. All right, well, that's something.
I mean, it's a fine item. You just can't get it early. You need to have a BKB before you get that item.
Well, Roche respawns, and actually, they don't see it. They did not see it.
Roche spawn.
Yeah, but they know it's a max duration, so they should know that it's up in literally within seconds from now.
And I expect after they get Roshan, they will attempt to either push the mid lane or possibly even the top lane. As Era is actually inching closer and closer to a Scotty, up to 2,900 gold with the ultimate orb.
Oh boy.
So only needs a couple hundred more. Going for that Eternal Envy Dro build.
He's going to have some damage to deal. Ice Blast is going to come in, and actually they're going to blink Berserker's Call. Era is pretty tanky with SNY.
Sure
Can they get this kill? Gus is going to go. TP out. Buugi is actually in some trouble. Bot's in. Flamebreak's not going to be there, and, well, yeah, Era is actually just fine. There's no way they could kill him.
Keep you safe.
That was hopeful.
Yeah, it really was optimistic. But you have to make those types of plays if you want to be able to, at least if you can get that kill, then it turns around.
If it was +1 hero, it's probably...
But something was making his way up there, I think. Well, it didn't work out either way, unfortunately. So NiP continue their dominance over this game. And despite what we think has been a pretty tense and fun game, it's only 7-3. The kill total is not quite there. You know.
And this is what you typically want to see if you're on the Dro team. You don't want a high kill game. You want an objective focus game where you take all the buildings, get Roshans, and they're doing just that. If we go ahead and take a look at gold, wow, a 12,000 gold advantage, 7,500 experience. It's going to be very important for 4ESC if they want a chance in this game to either deny the Aegis or stop them from taking it, or split push and buy time. But actually,
they're going to do the former.
Yep.
Well, the smoke's going to pop up for everybody. Boogie's thinking of jumping in. Wave of Terror is going to make sure he does, and Gus misses on everybody. Era's still chasing with the Scotty. He's going to try to find Boogie. He blinks in. Berserker's Call is going to connect. Now the Mystic Flare swap out, though. Perfectly done, and Boogie, another optimistic play, gets caught. Yodasun fan actually getting destroyed by MATUMBAMAN and his illusions. Vaalix trying to get away now. There's going to be the bird stomping on MATUMBAMAN. He has Thunder, but he gets gusted at the last second. His Manta style on cooldown. He should have waited, perhaps, and now Era going to work on NiP. Era still is just going to town. Gets the triple kill for Hanskin, and they're going to move right into the Roche pit. And with that, more than likely the Aegis and probably the game.
I mean, Dro has a SNY Scotty, 2200 life at 22 minutes. It's just too much life, too much armor. I mean, look at how much armor he has. 25 armor with over 2200 life. They just didn't have the damage to kill him. They used everything they had. A really nice swap coming out from the Venge to make sure that he didn't eat the entire duration of the Skywrath ults, but it just wasn't enough. They blew everything on the Venge, and if you blow everything on a hero and you don't kill him, you're most likely not winning that team fight.
Ladies and gentlemen, real quick, sorry to cut you off, FRL. I want to apparently apologize because I've been told numerous times in numerous different ways how to pronounce Yonasun fan's name. It's been Yonasun fan, Yonasun fan, in multiple different ways. So I'm trying my best, guys. There's no need to blame me. I apologize. And well, in the end, 4ASC are just really stuck against the wall here. They have Yasha for an empty currently, and there's nothing else you really can do in this situation other than hope for the best, and maybe, just maybe, MATUMBAMAN could get that Scotty, and then maybe contest, and hopefully not get silenced up when he needs to be able to Sunder. Tough situation.
Yep. And the Aghanim's now picked up on the Visage, so gonna have 3 familiars. Does not want to really use the summon familiar right now just because of how easily they died to the axe. It's a respectable play. I think it's the right play actually to make. Even though you would have the 3 birds, they might just instantly die, so better to just save that summon. Viper now with the Aghanims.
Yeah, this is do or die for 4ASC, and for NiP, I don't see them backing anytime soon. They want to be able to complete this push. Boogie on the backside. This is a smart play. The Smoke of Deceit into the blink initiation. He'll try to find Hanskin. Lasso on the other side, and MATUMBAMAN's caught out. Boogie. Now the swap goes through onto Hanskin. Boogie's still getting right click down. He's done. 8 Mother goes to work. Era on the other side of things still has the Aegis and is actually getting kills after left and right. MATUMBAMAN is dead as well. Hanskin gets the double. NiP is trying his best. Culling Blade not going to go, but that's just the Aegis. That's just the start. And Boogie's like, damn it, how can we do so little damage in comparison to what NiP are pumping out? NiP buys back, dies again, a dieback, and that is it. 24 minutes in, and GG is called. They got a set of racks at 15, or melee racks rather, and it's just been downhill since then for 4AC. And game number 2 is already on its way.
Yeah, really well played from NiP, executing the Dro strat to perfection this game. Very objective-based gaming, going for all the towers, then getting Roshan, walking down, not, playing it really safe. They actually showed a lot of restraint.